find it hard to get everything done in a day? Are you depleted, overwhelmed, exhausted, and frankly, you haven't got out of bed yet? Let's talk about that today. Hi, I'm Mystic Girl in the City because a little mystic advice is sure helpful when you need it. Really, what's at play here is knowing how to prioritize. That's an important aspect when we've opened up our calendar and it's full of all kinds of stuff that we have to do, and we don't even have the energy to do the first thing. We need to look at the priorities. So the first priority that you need to have is your dependents. Now that's your children, that's your animals, and that's any of your beloveds that their well-being is dependent on you. Now this is equally true for the men as it is for the women, that in fact your dependents are your first priority. The second priority is you. Just like when you go on an airplane and you have to put the mask on yourself, then on your child. Because if you don't get the sustenance and nourishment that you need in a day, the whole thing starts to fall apart pretty quickly. So the second priority in your life is going to be you. The third priority is your work life and your relationships. They go together. Now, a lot of men are going to put their priority as work first and put themselves under work and put their relationship under that, but put their partner above that. You can see this wacky priority. And a lot of women are going to put their relationship up ahead of their work life. And this is going to mix up that priority. And they actually need to be a third priority in your heart and in your day, because every single one of us needs to feel purpose, drive, productivity. And this is given to us both from our relationships and from work. So that's our third priority equally, work and relationship. Then we have family. And that can be your blood relatives or any kinds of friends that really represent family for you. That's your fifth priority. And all of those obligations and community aspects, they come under all of that. So that's your fifth priority. So when you're opening up your day timer and you're looking through the activities in the day, all of that stuff doesn't need to fill up your whole day. That stuff are these little cherries on top. They're like sprinkles in the day that's foundationally made up of time for your dependents, for you, for work and your relationship. Maybe you have some time in the day for family, but more like it's somewhere in the week is some time for family. Somewhere in the week is time for the extended other community. So that means if you volunteer for your child's classroom project, but when you notice it depletes time for you or time for your dependent, leaving none of that available, then in fact, you need to set a boundary and say no to that activity, because that activity is not first priority for your dependent. It represents extended community activity, and that doesn't really need to be the major contribution to your calendar in your day timer. However, there are a lot of community events and community others that are nourishing to you, and those movements can come first. So you kind of got to feel your way through this, but just making sure that you got your priorities straight is really going to help clear a lot of that clutter out of your day. And of course, you're going to need some good boundaries and some good communications to help with that. But for those tips, all you need to do is subscribe to my channel and you'll get more tips and tools from me, because I am here every Wednesday with all kinds of ways to work through your life with ease and spaciousness. I'd love to hear from you, so any comments or questions that you have, please make them down below and I'll read them all personally.